Okay.
Hey everyone, my name is Melissa and I'm joined up with a good friend of mine, Amber. We're both out of South Dakota. She does northern South Dakota. I do the southern half, and we are experts in essential oils, specifically in all the things that can go wrong in the summer and how to remedy them. Let's see, you've got 3 babies or 4? I always forget.
4.
4. So between the two of us, we have 7 children that we are somewhat in responsibility for most days. And so you don't have to have children to benefit from this class, but when someone asks me, okay, if you could only have one thing or from doTERRA, or what is the biggest thing that's changed your life with doTERRA, I feel obligated to say my first aid kit often, because it's probably the most used thing, especially in the summer. We definitely get more use out of it in the summer, but I am reaching for this beautiful bag. I should have grabbed it. I'll grab it when Amber starts talking here, because I grab for it constantly. And finally this summer, after having it for multiple years, I feel like I'm finally remembering to take it with me every time we go somewhere, and we really are using it a ton. You wouldn't believe all the things that come up when you actually have tools to solve them. You're like, we can fix that. So we want to just walk through everything that's in our first aid kits, the stuff that we have on the go all the time, what we're using for natural solutions and summer survival, basically. And I think you'll find benefit no matter where you're at in life. So I'll let Amber get started. We are recording, so you can grab this recording later if you need to take better notes.
Okay. So Melissa's talking about her first aid kit. I had my daughter get my purse. This is legit the case that I carry with me in my purse, and this deep blue stick. And just for reference, I have a tiny little backpack purse. So you don't need to have like a giant bag to carry all your stuff in there. In case you couldn't see, we're going to talk about most of these, but I have On Guard, Motivate, Breathe, Digestin, Peppermint Lavender, and a deep blue stick. So those are have with me in my purse at all times. I can cover almost anything that will arise with those. So briefly, we're just going to cover, some people are new, some people, this may be your first time learning, some people have been here for a while. So we want to address everybody here. So we'll cover the 3 cool things about essential oils. So the first cool thing about essential oils is that they're safe. They're 100% natural. There's no side effects. And the really interesting thing to note is a lot of synthetic medications were based off of the chemical constituents found in plant medicine. So it actually derived in plant medicine first. So I choose to just stick with the plant medicine side. They're effective, many times more effective than the counterparts that you can find. For example, here is a cell. So when you have a bacterial infection, you can go to a doctor and get an antibiotic for it. But if you have a viral infection, they tell you to go home, rest. There's not much they can do. The really cool thing about essential oils is that they are oil-based, so they can permeate that cell membrane. They can get in there. And that doesn't mean you won't ever get sick. It just means that if you get sick, odds are pretty great that that you will be sick for less amount of time and maybe less sick than what other people would. I don't know how to word that better. And they're affordable, really affordable. So she will be 5 in October, has never been to a doctor for a sick care visit. Not one time. We've never had to go in for earache, for anything. We've taken care of everything at home. I love having a natural medicine cabinet at home to try and address it first. And if it elevates and we need to go to a doctor, we absolutely will. But so far that hasn't been the case. I mean, in the last almost 5 years that I've been using essential oils, I think we've gone in once or twice for an x-ray when we thought a bone was broken. Mm-hmm. So, and with my big 3 kids, when I didn't have essential oils, we were in the doctor all the time. And it's not just a quick trip. It's 35 miles to town. You sit and wait there. How many hours out of the day? 35 miles back. It's a big inconvenience. So it's really been helpful to have our medicine cabinet at home in these beautiful little bottles.
I love that. So we're going to talk about 3 ways that we're using these products throughout. You'll hear us talk about taking something internally or using it topically, aromatically. Just want to break that down for you guys real briefly. Aromatic means that you're breathing it through your nose, that it's going through your nose, interacting with your olfactory system, and your brain is doing something with those constituents. It might tell you to calm down your mood. It might open your airways. It might support I mean, honestly, it might even support your digestion because of the way that we're going to talk about oils for nausea tonight. So, but anytime you want to cleanse the air, deal with anything airborne, you're going to want to do aromatic use. So you can have a diffuser, put essential oils and water in a diffuser and use the diffuser that way. But here's a hot tip. You don't have to have a diffuser. 1 drop in your hands smelled through your nose has the same benefits as anything fancy like that. So don't underestimate the power of aromatic benefits. It's actually one of the most powerful ways to use oils. It impacts the body within a few seconds. So we use oils aromatically constantly. Topically is when you're looking for a more localized effect. Maybe you've got a bug bite or a rash or an itch, or you've got a sore, or maybe you've got pain running down your legs, or you've got a headache from a long drive, or your kid's in the car. I was just had a class here locally, and a mom was telling me when her kids were young, she would drive across the country to see family. When she'd get there, she had boys in the car, whatever it was, she'd have a headache. And her sister-in-law would always just have her lay down with some rosemary essential oil. And she said within, just a few minutes, she was just better. And so just so cool to think about the benefits that we've had from these products for so many years. So localized benefits, but remember, we're diluting when it's on the skin. Typically fractionated coconut oil is what we use. We'll show you a few things that doTERRA has that are already pre-diluted for you, because we're going to show you can DIY this whole kit if you want. You can also buy pre-made products. So it kind of depends on what you have time for and where you're at in your season of life. And then finally, internally, we're so blessed with doTERRA essential oils that we can take these products internally. It's a pretty mind-blowing conversation for people that thought all essential oils were the same. They just aren't. doTERRA has gone through multi-tests to make sure that what we're consuming in our bottles are actually labeled as a supplement because they're pure, certified pure, tested grade. So we put a few drops in water in a veggie cap. We're going to give you our allergy balm or allergy relief recipe tonight. You can use oils under your tongue. I was just chatted with a lady tonight. She said her husband has been dealing with some chronic drainage out of his sinuses, and his son offered to put 2 drops of Digest Zen, an oil we're going to talk about tonight, under his tongue, actually for a different reason. He was using it internally for some digestive upset, and this drainage that he's had for weeks was gone. He's like, is there a connection? He's like, no, it just happened to just go away, Dad. Come on. Of course, there's a connection. Things don't just stop overnight unless you've done something typically. So anyway, internal benefits can have multi-system effect. You may be taking oils internally for digestive support and actually get respiratory relief. And so we love using oils this way. You can simply add them to water. You can make a veggie cap or under your tongue. So let's dive into a few of your things. I'll let you take the funnest slide ever.
So Deep Blue Stick, fun story. When we went to leadership, we were walking through a runway and all of a sudden my leg cramped up. So I guess the sign that you are now 40 is that you can't walk through a runway anymore, or you'll get a bad leg cramp. Anyway, odds were pretty great that I probably had wiped out my electrolytes for the day. And so that was the result of it. But what they did was put Deep Blue Stick. We rubbed it, and I rubbed it, I bet, for probably a week and a half after that, because that muscle was so tight and knotted. It took a while to work it out. And then it was some strain on the other side of my leg. So Deep Blue Stick, I literally keep it in my purse, because if a situation like that ever happens, I want to make sure that I have the tools on hand to address it right there, instead of be like, oh, they're at home, or they're in my car, or they're whatever. So I love the convenience of the stick. The rub is great, but the stick, you don't have to get your hands in it. And the stick has the addition of copaiba, and copaiba is amazing for anti-inflammatory properties, which if you're having intense muscle pain, likely there's inflammation there. So, and last night I worked all day out in the garden, and I said, oh, my back hurts when I lay down, and my daughter's like, I'll go get the Deep Blue Stick. So even the 5-year-old, almost 5-year-old, knows Deep Blue is your go-to when you got a little bit of discomfort.
That is funny and not funny, but I was there to witness it. And it, yeah, was awesome to watch you recover. On Guard. Now, this is a product that has a whole line of items. So you need to go onto your website, go to the shop tab, and there's actually On Guard products tab. There's so many things there that people don't realize that doTERRA's On Guard oil is infused into. One is the sanitizing mist. It's a super affordable, amazing spray bottle. It doesn't leak, very easy to take around. I love this quote from Stacy. She's like, don't buy one because you're going to want them everywhere. And I agree. Mine actually has my class that I had here locally tonight. They were laughing at me because so many of the products in my first aid kit have these little my last name labels on them. This is my last name. All my kids' first names start with C. So C Christopher works for everybody. But this is my mist, and this goes with to school. So that's why it has. But there's so many. I pulled out a different rollerball that we'll talk about in this also. They're like, oh, I guess that one went to camp. Oh, I guess this one has gone somewhere before. So anyway, just proof that we're really using these oils. But one thing that a lot of people don't realize is that On Guard comes in sanitizing wipes. And this is something so great if you've got room in a first aid kit. Here's mine that I'm grabbing things out of. Amazing, all zippered, and a bag of these will fit in there. But if you want to be sanitizing areas that you're interacting with, especially when you're out and about, we use these on like restaurant tables. I've been known to spray the entire table with the mist because it just looks like it needs it. But we also make our own travel soap that I wanted to show you because it's so important that you guys are thinking about the products that you're interacting with when you're at the gas station, when you're at someone else's house, when you're in another facility. They're all almost always the soaps are toxic. They have triclosan in them, which is actually banned in some areas. It's a chemical that's showing up in even the cord blood of infants, meaning that it gets into a mom's body and it doesn't go away. The body doesn't know what to do with it. So you don't have to be growing a baby for that toxin to be a problem for you. And so we've actually made our own hand soap and just put it in our first aid kit. It's just something that we can have with us on the go. It's incredibly inexpensive. A little bit of pure castile soap, fragrance free. And then because we add the aroma, right? 10 drops of On Guard essential oil, and the rest is just water. And this, you can get this little pump off of Amazon, make your own. So simple. Otherwise, someone reminded me, if you've ever bought the HD Clear foaming soap, you can reuse that bottle and make your own foaming soap if you really want to get real crunchy with us and save money there. But I let my daughter wash her hands in the school bathroom a couple months ago, and I smelled that fragrance on her skin for easily 2 to 3 days after. And I just thought, oh, I cannot do that again because number one, some of my kids are sensitive to those things and I don't want them on their skin. And number two, like not only the toxins of me smelling that in her for 2 to 3 days, but also that's absorbing into her skin. Fragrance is a nasty ingredient. We want to stay away from that because manufacturers can put anything in their products under the label of fragrance. So we just have no idea what our skin is interacting with. So it's so easy to make your own, and doTERRA gives us that option. I think that's it for On Guard. What do we have next here?
Terra Shield. I don't happen to have that one down here, but Terra Shield, it's great on its own. If you have a high population of mosquitoes, I would add a drop or 5 of lemon eucalyptus just to give it a little extra oomph against those little biters. But again, it's in the same spray bottle as the On Guard hand sanitizing mist. And so it's really great to carry in your purse so that you have something, because like you stop at a friend's and you start visiting and then all of a sudden like you're being attacked and it's like, well, I have to go. The mosquitoes are so bad or whatever. So it's nice to just have the little carry size, but you can buy just the Terra Shield essential oil. And then you can buy these bottles empty from doTERRA. You could reuse an empty 15 ml bottle like this and get a spray top and have a really tiny, convenient way to carry it with you at all times. And most of the bug sprays out there, like, have DEET in it, and DEET is supposed to repel ticks or whatever is why they require it. But again, what you put on your skin is absorbed into your bloodstream. So take a second, stop, maybe even look up, see what DEET really is or what it does or how it affects the body, and determine if that's something you actually want to incorporate into your blood or if TerraShield would be a better option.
Yeah, so often we just need a little bit of something to just keep them away. Now, if you're like going to go hike in the woods for 15 days, like you maybe want to bring something a little bit different. But for the majority of the times that we're outside, we find this TerraShield to just take care of it completely. And then exactly like you said, the lemon eucalyptus and then citronella, I'll put a little plug into those two we add to our TerraShield and it's magic. One thing we were talking about tonight, I don't have any animals in my home, but if you have dogs specifically, you're going to deal with ticks, and maybe for yourself too. I've heard that there are a lot of ticks this season. Geranium is the oil that you want to write down. That is the number one oil for ticks. I have a customer who said when she puts geranium on her dog, he does never has a tick. And if she ever forgets, he's loaded with them when he comes in the house. So she's like, I've done my own research. Just tell all your customers it works. Geranium is what they want. So if there is some geranium already in TerraShield, doTERRA knows. And so it's in there. But if you want to add more because it's something that's more prevalent in your area, please do so. Sorry, I overtook your slide there a little bit. It was a conversation that came out tonight and totally reminded me about that amazing oil. Okay, we put these all in one slide, even though they all have so many individual benefits, but this is the allergy trio. So if you are dealing with some seasonal allergies, even if you have animal allergies, this trio works. My husband puts a drop under his tongue anytime he interacts with animals and gets immediately full of the mucus. So one drop under the tongue, or you can do doTERRA's Tri-Ease capsules. That's exactly what they are, is lemon, lavender, peppermint, and an easy soft gel. The best thing about that is it's travel friendly. So you can put a little bag of Tri-Ease soft gels. In his case, he doesn't really know when he's going to interact with an animal like that and get all stuffy. Or if you're traveling to a new area and you don't know if allergies will bother you. One lady said tonight when she travels south, all of a sudden her allergies flare and she doesn't experience anything like that up there. So that's something you'd want to go. Lemon is our natural goo gone, and it does the same type of work in our body where it helps cleanse our cells. So it's mucolytic, it helps break up mucus. It's just amazing. It's something you should be drinking in your glass or stainless steel bottle or drinking glass every day. We were just talking with a customer of mine who is dealing with kidney stones. And I'm like, he's not drinking enough lemon essential oil, because I know if he was, my customers tell me that when they're drinking citrus oil in their water regularly, they don't deal with kidney stone issues. So think about that massive, amazing cleansing that happens with lemon. Lavender, peppermint, again, go in there. But lavender and peppermint are major summertime oils. So you need these two oils in your kit, or at least in your home. Lavender for all the bites, burns, it will instantly relieve that. We have a bug bite roller. I want to say it's on the last slide, so you'll get that recipe, but it includes lavender and peppermint. And then we add another third oil, which you'll see here in a few minutes, for bug bite relief. So many ways to use these oils, man. Like sunburns, peppermint, ants, repelling ants or spiders, peppermint is your oil. So lots of ways. Maybe other advocates can throw other ideas for how they're using these oils in the comments.
Okay, tea tree. This one, I wanted to bring this down to show you. So my husband he farms. So he wears boots, heavy boots all the time. And so he gets very itchy feet. If you have kids who wrestle, they might also get the fungal infection. Tea tree, I put it in a dropper bottle. Now this is just one that I recycled from somewhere else. But again, you can get a dropper top for the regular bottle. So I put a whole bottle of tea tree in here and 1 drop of oregano, and he puts this between his toes, and it eliminates the problem. So that is how. And my other hack, I guess, for tea tree is I use it in a nasal rinse. So if you have sinus pressure and you're afraid that it's going to progress to something more, I encourage you to get a neti rinse bottle. I don't have one downstairs with me. They're upstairs, and use the saline rinse, and you put 1 drop of tea tree in there to clean your sinuses, and that will help alleviate. I used to have sinus infections, and since I have been using doTERRA, I have not had anything progress into a sinus infection since.
Wow, that's amazing, Amber. Okay, so I wanted to point out this little testimonial on here. Andi says that she has been dealing with some athlete's foot, and tea tree is a big part of where she's finally seeing some results. I don't know if you deal with athlete's foot, but we do in our house. I don't know why it keeps coming and haunting me, but we have found the magic potion, and I haven't shared this recipe with many people, so I'm going to share it with you guys tonight. But it's tea tree, 10 drops of tea tree, 10 drops of cinnamon, and 10 drops of arborvitae, probably oils you don't hear a lot about or use. It smells actually amazing. Callie's like, why does my athlete's roller smell so good? I'm like, I don't know. It's the most disgusting issue with the most amazing smelling roller. I kid you not. So we didn't get on top of it for a while. I didn't know what it was. I'd never seen it last summer. And it probably took us a couple of months of applying that oil twice a day for it to finally go away. But it ends up like peeling the entire bottom of the foot off as it's healing. And so it was so gross. And then, but it also cracks the feet. And so it leaves a like actual openings. It's so tough because their kids are always on their feet. So anyway, when it flared back up at the end of this school year, we got right on it, and it wasn't 2 or 3 days and it's totally gone. So just the faster you can get on these issues, the better results you'll likely see. And that's why carrying the oils with you or having them easily accessible gives you such sweet results. So anyway, that's my athlete's foot roller in case that applies to you. No raise of hands there. Okay, breathe. I'll just talk briefly about this. I think this is an oil a lot of you guys are familiar with, but you have to have this oil with you because you never know when you're going to need it. If you're traveling and you sleep at someone's house and that you just start to get stuffy because you're interacting with whatever's in their house, this is the oil we go to. It's amazing for snoring as well. Put it right under the nose. My husband uses this every single night. And doTERRA creates these touch rollers. So anytime you see the word touch, see that right on the top of that breathe label? That means that it's already diluted for you. So if you're the person that just needs doTERRA to do the work, they'll do that. They take the Breathe essential oil, put it in a very easy to use roller ball. These are the best roller balls made, and it's already diluted and ready for the skin.
Digestin. This one I for sure have with me all the time because I don't know about you, but every once in a while you eat something and you don't expect there to be any interaction, and all of a sudden your stomach signals to you that that was a poor choice. You shouldn't have eaten that. So I like having Digestin with me. And in fact, I don't just keep the Digestin roller. I also keep the Digestin soft gels because I want to not have any issues when I'm out in public with other people. So I keep them both in my little first aid kit that I have. But like Melissa had said earlier, Digestin, this is what I love about essential oils, is just because this one is formulated for digestive support, it doesn't mean that that's the only thing you can use it for. It is fabulous for sinus pressure. So especially this roller touch like this is great for helping clear up sinus pressure. And I just reminded me of something on the Breathe. I was visiting with a friend of mine who has essential oils, and she said she used the Breathe stick. She said when her kids were little, she used it for everything. If they had a cough, she used the Breathe stick. Like even as infants, she'd put it on the bottoms of their feet. If they had a fever, she'd rub it up and down their spine. She said it didn't matter what her kids were sick with. Almost always the Breathe stick was what she put on her kids. So that is just another thing to put in the back of your mind for a simple tool to have on hand that's easy to use.
I think it's the versatility of the peppermint that's making those rollers so universal. So I have 3 Blue Label rollers in my first aid kit. We've already talked about 2 of them. Actually, we've talked about all 3 of them. Digestin, Breathe, and then I have a deep blue roller. doTERRA doesn't sell them like this anymore, but you can certainly make your own, just deep blue essential oil and coconut oil. So the 3 blues really are interchangeable. I've used deep blue for digestive relief, honestly, even like menstrual cramping relief. Digestin I've used for sinuses. Breathe, you could use any of these for an itchy bug bite because of the way the peppermint works in there. They're super universal that way. This is a product not a lot of people know doTERRA has. So we have to bring this one up. It is nature's Neosporin, or basically any kind of petroleum-based ointment replacement, except doTERRA's is going to be safer. No petroleum. You want to look into petroleum if you're using any kind of petroleum-based products. Not really a good choice, unfortunately. But the best part of it is not only is it safer, it's more effective because it has essential oils in there. So I think a lot of these things, there's obviously over-the-counter and Target replacements for all of these products, probably. But I would argue doTERRA's are likely safer. And then when you add the essential oils on top, you're not only like getting relief, but you're getting benefit. Like I was just telling my class here tonight, the Terra Shield, like you could put that on and not experience any bugs, and you have zero harm to the body, only benefit because of the way that citronella and lemon eucalyptus and all those oils. Geranium's amazing for the skin. Like you're giving your skin like love while you're putting bug spray on. That is the complete opposite of what's happening with traditional products. So that's the same way with CorrectX. The oils that are in this serum kind of ointment base are ones that we've been talking about, like tea tree and lavender, but also cedarwood, frankincense, and then our favorite oil. It is just the favorite. My daughter actually dressed as this oil during Hero Day. There was a dress up day at school and she dressed like a bottle of helichrysum. That was her choice. It was not prompted by me. She got in the car on the way home. I said, well, how many people did you tell what helichrysum was today? And she goes, everyone I saw, of course. But this is the touch version. Notice there, if you can't see it, there is nothing left in here. I got to refill this. This is most used in our home, but it's in the CorrectX. And so this is such a great idea or use for cuts, scrapes, all the things you would put ointment on. And we love it.
So just one thing quick about that is I have actually healed a blister that didn't pop. If you catch it before it pops and you start putting CorrectX and a Band-Aid on it, it will heal without having the open wound and just a little dead skin. It's not even like a scab, like a brown scab. It's just a little dead skin thing will peel off when it's healed. So
cool.
That is something that you can't do with anything else that I know of. So this slide has recommended add-ons. So if you have just the essential oil bottles and you want to DIY your products, like if you want to turn this Breathe into a roller, you're going to want the fractionated coconut oil. And I feel like it's like if you give a moose a muffin, if you have the fractionated coconut oil, I can't encourage you enough to buy the top for it because it is such a messy without it. So anyway, it's $2.25. It's absolutely worth its weight in gold. And it makes it so easy. If you don't have the rollers, you can just put a squirt in, put a drop on, rub it on whatever you have to. If you have the rollers, you can put however many drops and fill it to the top. The spray bottles, these are the same exact spray bottles that your Terra Shield and your On Guard is going to come in. And doTERRA actually does have a tiny bottle of fractionated coconut oil. So I love that. When we go on vacations as an entire family, like for real, this is how oily I am. I don't know if you're new, this word is, you're not going to be familiar. If you're around for a while, you're going to have heard of the Symphony of the Cells. I have the ID protocol Symphony of the Cells in my little bottles. And then I carry that little bottle of fractionated coconut oil with me. So if I am somewhere on vacation and somebody starts to get sick, we can take care of it right away because you don't want to ruin a vacation being sick. And then Melissa, you want to talk about the blends or the recipes?
Yeah, so you guys can screenshot these. These are just the tried and true ones that we're using. If you're doing any kind of road trip traveling, then you definitely want the bottom three because calming the nerves, staying focused while you're driving, dealing with nausea in the car, and then, just overheating your body, all the things, those are the things. So cooling mist, we'd put in just one of those little spray bottles from doTERRA. The focus and nausea could go in a spray bottle as well, but you can also put that in a roller ball. So you could honestly, you could probably do sprays with any of these. You could do rollers with any of these. You'll find a lot of benefit. Now with the allergy support, that likely would be best in a roller ball, rolled under the nose, behind the ears, bottom of the feet. And then you just want to do 1-1-1 for the drops in a veggie capsule. So same recipe, just smaller amounts depending on how you're using it. The bug bites, that roller is gold. You can do it with just lavender, just peppermint, just purify, but I love all that combination. And then the after sun spray, the sunburn spray, just add a little bit of aloe and water to those oils in a spray bottle. Oh my, we have had so many amazing results from that. My husband, that's one of his favorite DIYs because he has a shaved head. And so if he gets burned there at all, he's like, get me the sunburn spray. So we wanted you to have all those. I hope you've had a chance to screenshot that or write those down. The last thing that we're going to talk about, because we have to, this isn't typically in my first aid kit all the time, but in the summer, we have really loved having natural sunscreen. So I will admit for the first about 8 years of raising kids, we didn't use sunscreen very often. Now my kids have really great skin, like skin to be jealous of. They don't really burn. But that doesn't mean that we shouldn't protect the skin when we're in it for a long period of time. But I'll be honest, almost every sunscreen that I've come across that is not toxic, can I say sucks? Like it's so bad. Trying to rub mineral-based sunscreen into the skin of children who just want to go and play in the lake, they have no time for that. When Callie was little, we had a line called Badger, if you're familiar. She basically smelled like oatmeal and was like, look, ghost. It doesn't like great ingredient list, terrible application. So that was my impression of sunscreen. We just really didn't use a lot until doTERRA blew our minds last July. They released doTERRA's Sunskin line and it sold out in 10 days because people couldn't believe how awesome it worked. They couldn't get enough. Like millions of bottles of sunscreen went off the shelves in like 7 to 8 days. So now we have access to all of it. So please don't go through your summer without it. There's a few different products. I'm not going to spend a lot of time on them, but just notice that there's different SPFs based on how much zinc oxide is in the bottle. But do know that once you get to 30 or 40 SPF, that's really the highest benefit you're going to get from sunscreen. If you're shopping in the store and you see like 50, 60, 70, 80 SPF, you can look, you don't have to take my word for it, but look into it because it's a marketing ploy. When they actually do the research to see how much benefit every level of SPF gives you, once you're over 30 to 40, it's like at 97 to 98% protection. And anything over that is like less than 1% increase. So like, cool. Now you've just spent more to get a fraction that's like negligible on a research chart benefit. Notice this one went to camp. So they're so easy. Kids can use them without any help. This one, just the lid screws off. It's like a little deodorant tube. Basically, you just twist up and apply to the skin. It rubs in so easily. And then if you weren't paying attention, doTERRA released the most recent edition, and this is the daily moisturizing sunscreen. So it will replace your moisturizer in the summer, and it rubs in so smooth. I could literally apply it to my face in the middle of a Zoom meeting and not embarrass myself because it rubs in so clean. Look at this. And it smells amazing. So please do yourself and your skin a little favor. You will love this. The essential oils that are in here, does it give me a list? Not on here. But it smells amazing. So check those things out and try them this summer. I'll let you take the last slide and then we'll be done.
Okay. I have to put one little plug in for the sun care line. So I have been outside since 7:30 this morning up until 20 minutes before this call. And it was bright, sunny, hot. I was sweating like crazy. And I'm the kind of person I tease, if I look out the window, I get sunburned. So I put this on a sunny day, obviously not when it's cloudy. Anyway, this face sunscreen works amazing. I'm not even pink. And I don't know if you're going to be able to see. Can you see my back?
It just looks normal. Is that what we're supposed to see?
You should see it in person. You can see where I did get the sunscreen and where I didn't get the sunscreen.
Oh no.
Flaming bright red where the sunscreen did not hit. So I'm going to use that after sun care because it's phenomenal. I love the after sun spray, but that stuff is the bee's knees. So anyway, get all of them.
Love it. So there are three types of people. I'll just take it because I'm talking and I'm talking over you. We just always want to remind people that there are three types of people that we work with. And the cool thing about our business might be different from other direct selling companies is we really support everyone the same. It just doesn't matter where you land because we have an interest in you in our business either way. So there are people who just want to live a natural wellness lifestyle. There are customers. That's about 95% of our teams. And those people are our favorites. Like we love them. And that's why we teach these classes is for you guys so that you can continue to learn ways to live a more natural wellness lifestyle. There are those of you that want to share and get your products paid for. That's where us crazies came in. We just started falling in love with products that we just couldn't get enough of. And so we started sharing. And eventually for some of us turned into earning an income and making an impact. This is one of the funnest jobs I've ever had. Thank you, Amber, for being here with us tonight. Like such a joy. I know you are like flying out to Washington, D.C. tomorrow. So we certainly crunch time to have you here tonight. And I'm just thankful that we get to learn from each other. Was there anything else in this first aid kit or when you're looking at it, Amber, that you didn't chat about or anything else someone was wondering? I was trying to see if we covered everything from my kit.
Yeah, I think that's everything.
I typically carry lozenges with me because I never know when I will want that. My husband's favorite are the Blue Breathe and mine are the ginger. So that's why they look like that. Okay, I'm going to sound like a little nerd, but this is one of my favorite things in my first aid kit. The doTERRA lip balm. I know you're just like, it's lip balm, get over it. No, it's not. This is different. I don't know what they do with this. I don't know if it's this, I don't know, avocado oil, coconut oil. I don't know, but this is spearmint, marjoram, and lemon verbena. And I just love the herbal lip balm. Trust me, try it. Also, I have Band-Aids and gauze in here, but I think everything else we covered.
Huh.
Yay. I'll stop the recording. We can certainly take questions if anyone has them.